Hey guys, what up? It's your boy Con TDK, Mr. So Real. And by popular demand, I have been requested to do the state of the game for September the 1st because people like you want to know the real feelings and my real answers to how the state of the game is going and what is going on with the 1.4 patch. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
So someone asked, yeah, there you go. It's state of the game because we have the card, right?
Okay, guys, so if you haven't noticed from their intro, there is someone new there, and it is not Yannick. This is a different person who is part of the live team, but I'll let him introduce himself. He actually introduces himself twice in the live stream. Well, not live stream, but for the state of the game. So I'll give you both of those. The first one is where he does a kind of quick introduction, and then the second one is where he gives a little bit more detail onto some of the things that they are planning to do in the 1.4 patch and kind of the things that his team is working on. A little bit of a disclaimer towards somewhere in the state of the game, they decided to do a giveaway, and when they did that, they left an overlay in, and there's this kind of really annoying overlay in the window. That is not my part of my control. I have nothing to do with that. That was just on screen. So please kind of bear with that. But I'll let you hear about this very important person who is in charge of some very important things that go on in the Massive Entertainment Studio. So let's hear from him, see who he is, what he does, and what he is about.
Who's this guy? Kevin, who are you? People may not remember Kevin from super early on.
The betas.
The betas, you were there. Tell people a bit about yourself.
So hey, I'm Kevin Goyon. I'm associate live producer, working in the live team. And the live team is basically the team working with infrastructure engineers, so making sure we have servers for you guys to play on, that everything runs smoothly. We also run analytics, so we have a lot of data about what you guys are doing in the game. We know
We see
everything.
you.
We see everything.
Doing all that stuff. He produces live, exactly.
So I'm an associate live producer working with the live team, and the live team is taking care of all the servers, all the data tracking in the game to know what you guys are doing in the game, what is too hard, what is too easy, this kind of stuff. And also helping getting all the stuff that comes from the forums, Reddit, or other sources, and make sure that they get in a list so we can fix for the game. And the 1.4 update is mainly based on this list.
Yes.
And also, we will be the team starting the PTS. Yeah, a lot of good learnings to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the 1.4 patch coming out in October, which is like it's a month away, but it could be up to almost 2 months. I've been always asking what is going on with the patch. I have not really heard a lot of specifics on what they are fixing exactly. There are a few things that they kind of hint around about, and some of those things sound good. Some of those things are things that we've been kind of crying and complaining about, and things that we've wanted fixed for a long time. And then there are some other things that I'm sure they're working on, but they're not telling us, which is kind of disturbing because, I think as consumers, we should know what is priority to them, or what do they perceive as priority for us. So the live team is working on a few things, and let's hear what things they're talking about working on.
To reiterate, last week we on the stream talked about 1.4. Super excited to talk about that. I think it's a really, really positive move for the game. It gives us a chance to focus on what really matters, that core experience, and all of these things. With 1.4, we're talking about the core gameplay experience, right? Because the way that we've been doing our updates and our bug fixes and our hot fixes and that sort of thing, they've been focused on very, very specific
Yeah.
things, right? You know, like
So that's also what our team do. We have we receive all the reports, the bug reports. We work closely with Hamish and Yannick to what's going on in the forums, and we know what are the big issues. But we have a limited amount of people to work on the issues, so we need to prioritize.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, we prioritize the big issues that are hindering most of the players.
Yeah.
And so we try to work on that. And with the release of the upcoming DLCs, the small issues that are really annoying as well are piling up.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's those that we want to address now.
Yeah, and obviously during those server maintenances and stuff, we're kind of limited into what we can do. We can't basically roll out a client-side patch every week. Yeah. It's impossible. But what we can do now with 1.4, it gives us the option to focus on those things. Someone was saying if I say core gameplay again, they're going to get really mad. But seriously, those issues in the in-game experience, especially, those can now be focused on. So that's really exciting.
So the live team's aim is to fix in-game experiences. Now these in-game experiences could be anything from bugs to related issues to gameplay mechanics to anything. They are just working on improving the game and making the game better from the analytics and the data that they get. That's really all they're working on. So spoiler for this, don't expect any new content. It ain't coming.
I will say that 1.4 touches on a lot of those big things, but there will be some things that can't be touched during this time. For example, the Dark Zone is going to be entirely different, but we won't be doing things like a dedicated PvP balance. One, because it doesn't really make sense for us to do a PvP balance with the context of what we have right now, when we know that that context is going to change with all the changes that we're making.
Everything is intertwined.
Yeah, it's like that.
That is really disappointing to hear, that large fixes like PvP, the Dark Zone, and balancing are not coming to 1.4. So if you're like me, you're probably wondering, well, what the hell are we really waiting for with 1.4? Just a bunch of fixes, a bunch of patches and stuff like that? That seems really kind of uninspiring. And kind of a bit disappointing, considering that the game has been out for 6 months. A few of the major issues that we've been talking about for a long time are just getting around to getting fixed now. To me, it's really kind of sad, and I think it's really disappointing for a lot of players to actually hear and find out that the Dark Zone will not be rebalanced and PvP and weapons and stuff won't be fixed. I still don't know what they're doing. Like, they're saying that they're fixing the core gameplay and all this stuff, but what exactly are they doing to fix it? I still have yet to hear any concrete, this is what we're going to do, these are our plans. Until I hear those things, I'm still, I don't get it. I need more info to really either feel good or feel bad about the patch. At the moment, I don't feel great. I feel kind of confused and feel like somebody who's being stood up. I feel like I'm waiting for somebody on a date and I'm just standing there looking at my clock. This bitch said she's gonna be here at 7:30. It's already 8:15.
Good news. We have what we announced last night, and is going to be a really, really good thing, the PTS.
Yes.
So that's going to be a really, really powerful tool for us going forward. PTS, for people who don't know, a public test server. Other people might call it a PTR, but we don't have realms, so kind of doesn't make sense to call it that. But that's you guys.
Yes.
All right. You guys have been working on getting that up and running.
Yeah, so basically we had to steal some servers from the live game, and we made a new environment, so the PTS. And on this PTS, we're gonna push the next build. The build is the next patch. So we're gonna take all the changes that we are bringing for the 1.4 update, and we push them on the PTS, so you guys can test that. We can get the data out of it. We can get your feedback, tweak things. Yeah, it's gonna be a fantastic experience, I think.
Fantastic experience. Oh man. Hold on. Okay. Real talk. Now I know you guys have heard a lot from the more popular, famous YouTubers for the division, and I'm sure they're all hyped about this PTS server, the public test server. And I'm sure that if you listen to them and they are your only source of information and your only source of opinions on the division, that this PTS server is the greatest thing since, I don't know, the wheel. Fucking fire. The PTS server, let's really call the PTS server what it really is. It is you, the person who paid money, testing the game for them. Let that sink in for a second. The entire purpose of this PTS server is so that without having to invest in more and more people testing the game, they're just going to put it on this server, let as many people come in and test it as long as you've paid for the game. Test it out with your save data guy or character or whatever, and you can report bugs and tell them what issues you found, and they can find out from analytics what things they didn't really work on or things that aren't really working, and you can spend your time not making any progress with your character testing the game. Only if you're on PC. Don't forget that. Oh, I let the cat out the bag.
For people that didn't see that other part of the news, it will be PC only, and there are reasons for that.
Yeah, so we are really flexible on PC. It's really easy. We have control basically of what we push on our PC version of the game,
Yeah.
which is not the case on console. We
No.
need to send for approval everything we push to the game.
Yeah.
We will investigate what we can do in the longer term, because obviously the PTS is something, if successful, we want to keep running. So console is considered, not for the 1.4 update though.
Yeah.
PC only. Sorry, I let that slip. I got a little excited. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of this information beforehand, but PC only. If it's successful. If my voice cracked on that one. If it's successful and it's on PC only, then maybe they'll look into finding a way for console players to jump in on the test server and find a way so that you can find those bugs for them and you can help fix the game that should have been fixed 6 months ago, that they should have tested 9 to 12 months ago, that you paid for. I don't know, man. When I played Battlefield 4 had a bunch of issues that they needed to get fixed. But that game was nowhere near as bug-ridden as The Division. Now, with that being said, Battlefield 4 introduced the similar test server so that when they put out new maps and when they put out new weapons and things, players could experience the new weapons and they could play with the new weapons, try out a few places in the new maps, and then they could see if it worked, if guns were too OP, if they needed to be dialed back, if they weren't strong enough, if their, just fall off rate was too high or not high enough, things like that. This was just for guns, right? This is just for guns. Not necessarily like skills or anything like that. And they're not fixing any of the kind of core mechanics in these test servers for Battlefield. This is Battlefield 4. This is years ago. Now you're talking about the Division. You're going to be tested. They want you to test everything. From character progression to weapons to skills to supers to whatever else they put in. They want us to test the entire game only if we're on PC. So what does this mean for PlayStation 4 and Xbox users? Well, Xbox users, the bright side is that you guys get the upcoming paid DLC on time. The bad thing for PlayStation people like myself is we have to wait an extra month. So number one, we get the 1.4 patch after it's been kind of run through the ringer of this test server that we don't get to experience, which means we have to wait. 1.4 drops. If it's okay, we get that. We have to wait more than a month because I'm sure 1.4 and the new DLC will not drop on the same day. So you have to wait for however long that is. And then you'll have to wait for the month or however long it is until the PlayStation 4 people can get their hands on it. And then you can play with that. And I said in my good or garbage video for this weekend, it's ripped for PlayStation 4 players because there's really no incentive to make the Division your main game. If you want to play it on the weekends and enjoy it every now and then with your friends and stuff like that, that's totally fine and understandable. But if you're going to say this is my main game that I'm going to play hours and hours and hours and hours every day, if you're on PS4, I can't see it. If you're on computer, if you're on PC, yeah, maybe, sure, why not? Yeah, you can test the game and experience things that should or shouldn't be. Yeah, why not? Fuck around, have fun. But being a consumer that's paid money not only for the game, but also for the gold edition or the season pass, and having to wait for all of this and not having access to this untested experimental content, and basically just saying, sit over there and just wait. We'll get to you. Is a major slap in the face. It's a kick in the balls. And I don't like it. And you shouldn't either. Whether you're on PC, Xbox, or PS3. Because everybody paid the same amount of money. Hell, PC people probably paid less. There's so many deals for PC, you probably didn't even pay as much money. I don't like it.